Alright, fantasy people. First off, happy Thanksgiving. I'm up here in the beautiful north where it is snowing and cold, which brings me to the playoffs, because a lot of playoff games are cold and snowy. Anyways, let's get right to it. We're 2 games away from the playoffs, which means that some teams are already pretty much guaranteed to get in and some teams are pretty much already guaranteed to get out. So, starting in the East, got Jilk mathematically guaranteed to make the playoffs. Now, whether they come in first and they get a really easy first game in the playoffs, or they slide, that's yet to be determined. But they're guaranteed to make the playoffs. So congratulations, Gatchilk, you're in the playoffs. Replacements. Also, they're not mathematically guaranteed, but it would have to be pretty catastrophic for them not to make the playoffs. So I'm counting Gatchilk and replacements are going to be the top 2 seeds in the East for the playoffs. Now, this is where it gets interesting. There's 3 teams that are all vying for the 4th and 5th spot, which means one of them is not going to make it. And additionally, there's a 4th team that's sitting on the outside that could get really lucky and sneak in on the last spot. So, starting out with Aztec for Life. Aztec for Life this week's playing BK, another team that is working really hard for wins, so I'm not going to count that as a guaranteed win for them. Next week, Aztec for Life plays Hook'em, guaranteed win. So I'm saying that Aztec for Life is going to get at least 1 win in the next 2 weeks, which is going to give them at least a 7-5, maybe 7-6 at worst, maybe an 8-5 record. But I'm guessing they're going to come out with 7 wins. Zactac playing Purple Ruse this week. Game of the week. Both teams are on the crux of playoffs and need to get in. So if Zactac wins this week and Purple Ruse lose, good chance Zacatac's going to hold on to one of those playoff spots and Purple Ruse will slip, and vice versa. Next week, Zacatac plays Martin's Monsters. I'm going to count that as a guaranteed win. So, same thing as Aztec for Life. I'm guessing Aztec for Life and Zacatac are both going to come out with at least 7 wins, which brings us to the Shirleys. The Shirleys playing Bills this week, counting that as a guaranteed win, and then next week's John Tigers. John's Tigers have been slipping lately, counting that as a guaranteed win. So, what does that mean? It means that I'm guessing that Shirley's going to come out with 8-5. Zacatac and Aztec for Life are going to both be with 7-6, which is going to put Zacatac just on the outside of the playoffs. But he is a champion, so he could turn around. He's going to get maybe the win this week and next week, and he's in. But those are the playoff pictures for the East. Also, I will mention, if you click on the playoffs tab, those aren't the playoffs teams. The website does it by rank overall. It doesn't break it down by division. So anybody who doesn't know, after the last regular season game, I'll go in and I'll put in the teams that are in the top 4 seeds in both divisions. Does that make sense? So, all right, moving on to the West. Killer Tomatoes and Blue Bayou. Not mathematically, but they're both pretty high up there. Interestingly enough, both are the only 2 Hartnets that don't have a ring. So, looking good so far for both of them, but nothing's for sure until you're in the playoffs. All right, so same thing as in the East. The West Division now has 3 teams that are all vying for that last 2 spots, and then 1 team that's on the outside. Purple Ruse plays Zacatac this week. That's really, like I said, game of the week. If they win that one, next week Purple Ruse plays Brady's Bozos. That's going to be a great matchup. Purple Ruse is probably going to be the game of the week this week and next week, because if Purple Ruse loses, or even if they win, that game next week between Purple Ruse and Brady's Bozos will probably turn out to be a deciding game on who makes it into the playoffs and who doesn't. So, playoffs could start a week early for those 2 teams next week. You also have bye week. Bye week's probably going to lose this week. This is right now they're sitting in the last playoff spot. They're probably going to lose this week to Gut Jilk, and then they're probably going to lose next week to the Killer Tomatoes. So, right now they're sitting in. I'm anticipating bye week. I'm sorry, but you're going to slide and you're going to not make the playoffs. Purple Ruse, depending on how they do this week, and then how they do next week, could be in. Brady's Bozos need to win this week against Brady's Bozos playing this week against Killer Tomatoes. I'm sorry, Brady's Bozos this week playing Killer Tomatoes. Probably a loss. Next week, Brady's Bozos versus Purple Ruse. So, how would I anticipate it ending up? I'm anticipating Purple Ruse and Brady's Bozos both getting 1 win. and 1 loss in the next 2 games, which is going to put them both at 8 and 5. And bye week is going to lose 2, putting them at 7 and 6. So, playoff picture in the North: got Jilk, replacements, Aztec for life probably, and I'm thinking Zacatec's going to hold on, but if not, the Shirleys might steal it. In the West, it's going to be Killer Tomatoes, Blue Bayou. I'm guessing probably Purple Ruse and Brady's Bozos. BK and Bye Week are on a long shot outside, but they're both rookies this year, so they should just be happy that they got as far as they did. Anyways, happy Thanksgiving. Set your lineups, and 2 more games until the playoffs. Championship rings are coming, so enjoy.